And then we're going to add the video after, Bill Cosby's out.
Bill Cosby is out.
Honestly, what do you think of that?
I think Bill Cosby never should have been in. Really.
So you didn't go with the bashing of the... It's like they were...
No, actually, I defended him to somebody and I lost a friend for it.
Explain that.
Just...
How do you lose a friend over Bill Cosby?
Oh, man, this is it's a long story, all I said to this person was, you weren't in the room with him and those girls, so you cannot judge what you were not there to see. It seems a little fishy. People, the media runs with an agenda and stereotypes, and I think everybody has a right, like the courts say, innocent until proven guilty.
But he was guilty until proven innocent.
Well, every black person is guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's how the law is for us. That's just unfortunate.
I just don't understand why they go after Bill Cosby when you're like 70 years old or like 100 years old, and then all of a sudden they decide, okay, we're gonna just like they're doing with R. Kelly.
Well, good role models in the African American community, for some reason the powers that be don't want any. So,
because Elvis was doing it.
So I believe it doesn't matter who you are. If you're Michael Jordan, they're gonna call you a gambler or whatever. If you're, Will Smith.
Yeah, but
they had to embarrass
here's
him
the thing.
too.
Here's the thing that I see. When it's black, it's always evil. But when it's white, look at Eminem and Kid Rock and all these guys and Elvis and Polanski. They always have an excuse for them. Like,
right.
Oh, you had a tough childhood, and we in the ghetto,
right?
So we don't have a tough childhood.
Well, it's like this: if you go and you shoot multiple people, if you're black, you're a gangster. If you're
trouble.
Indian, you're a terrorist, and if you're white, there's a mental disorder problem.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So everybody has different rules. There's different laws for every ethnic background. I believe in the world. I don't think it's a secret anymore.
But
so
you know what I wonder? I wonder if we go to Africa, if black privilege exists over there, just like white privilege exists in
There's no way
in America.
Think about it.
So you don't think we have black? There's somewhere in the universe, in the world, where there's black.
If you're
black
royalty,
privilege?
royalty, I believe royalty. If you're royalty, yeah, but that wouldn't be called black privilege. It's just because you're royalty and you're black in Africa.
Okay.
That's why it wouldn't be called black privilege. Remember.
And I'm trying to hide away somewhere where there's black.
I don't believe slavery would happen without the help of the Africans.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
somebody sold us to someone.
So I don't think there's black privilege anywhere. There's black hate everywhere. That's what we can guarantee.
Yeah.
100%. There's black hate every continent on Earth. There's black hate.
I'm trying to find somewhere where there's a little bit of black privilege. I could just move there and buy some properties and just.
There might be black privilege on Mars.
I'll buy myself to Mars. I'll
well,
sell all my bitcoins to go to Mars. Man. So for the people that don't know you, who's MEGASEAN? Why is MEGASEAN matters to the culture right now? Okay. I know why, but I want you to tell the people why.
I started off as Bubba, and then switched it up to Doomsday.
Okay.
And then I was called Bubba Sean, because my real name is Sean. Then I felt like I elevated myself past a point where I started to believe in myself more, and I believe I can become larger than life. So I transformed into Mega. And Mega Sean is an artist, from an MC to an artist, a musician. I believe I've graduated from being an MC, I'll always be an MC. Hip hop is a drug to me that I'm addicted to.
But the thing is, when I look at your music, right, I see a guy that actually works on his craft, that actually cares about the culture, that don't just go on the mic and just spit anything.
Right.
You know? So why is it still important for you to write excellent verses when everybody else is just mumbling and saying whatever because it sounds good?
Well, you know, it's funny. I had a conversation with my pops, and he doesn't understand what's wrong with these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what did they grow up listening to? And I said to my pops, well, look what you grew up listening to. He grew up listening to Bob Marley and artists that actually said stuff with meaning that affected how that generation dressed, how they conducted themselves. Hold on.
So, as a hip hop purist, I call you a hip hop purist. At what point do you think the music switched to whatever? You know, because I saw like Lil Nas X performance. I didn't look at it. I just saw like a picture of it. That was enough for me. And I was like, I'll never. This is the thing. There's two things I'll never watch: Brokeback Mountain and Lil Nas X performance. I don't want to see it. I'm not asking to see it. I don't want nobody to send me no link to see it.
Well, the hip
So
hop.
when do you think it became the norm to be whack and selling? Because a lot of the music is just whack.
I wouldn't consider Lil Nas X as a whack artist. I wouldn't consider him a hip hop artist, but I wouldn't consider him whack. You see, there's a lane for everyone.
I know,
hip hop has gotten so humongous that now there are people that were never allowed in it. They have built their own section of it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you why I think Lil Nas X is whack. It's not because he's not selling music.
He's selling a culture.
Exactly. He's selling an agenda. So
right.
That's why it's whack, because nobody knows Lil Nas X music. Everybody knows about the agenda, and everybody knows about whatever he's doing. But nobody...
Well,
where's the quote?
He's doing it right. Hip-hop is doing it wrong now. We were selling a culture. He's selling a culture. Right now in hip-hop, they're not selling a culture. They're selling garbage. They're selling poison. We used to sell a culture. He took our template, and he's doing it for whatever he believes in. Which is why he is making a living.
I don't believe he's selling what he's believing in. I think...
Oh, yeah, of course, there's machines behind him, too. Yeah,
he goes to a meeting, and they tell him, yo, we need that by next week.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, so I got these songs, and they're like, okay, whatever, put this song, but this is the image we want with this song.
He hasn't even finished one album yet. He's been out for how long? He's blown up. You know that there's an agenda and a certain type of a machine behind him. There's never been an artist in the last 20 years that's put out one song and is blowing up without no follow-ups and no record. They didn't put out an album. That hasn't happened since like back in the day where like Debbie Gibson and Tiffany and these one-hit wonders and Skee-Lo were... He's doing what doesn't happen in today's society. So you know there's some different type of a monster backing him. Which is why, also, we don't know that type of a monster. So it's like we don't know where... If you build an enemy of that type of a monster, you won't even know where it's coming from.
So
it's an invisible enemy if you make it an enemy.
So how are you going to fit in this new industry?
You have to do what he's doing. You have to find what you believe in, or what a generation of people will believe in, and sell the culture of it.
Would you would you let someone tell you, okay, this is the image we want from you? And you don't like it. You don't like it.
If I don't like it.
If you don't like it, but the check is good, what are you going to do?
It depends on what we're talking about. What are we talking about? For my music or for acting?
It goes against your value.
The whole joke
But
is...
it's $1 million.
But what are we talking about? For my music? No. But what are we talking about?
They control... They like... Okay. They like, yo, Mega, we need you to play with the Borat suit for $1 million.
For a movie?
Yeah. The Borat suit. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what the Borat suit is. So maybe
the swimsuit.
The swimsuit.
Yeah.
Just wear a Speedos in a movie.
It was more than a Speedo, my friend.
Well, I don't know
what the thing there.
Oh, you mean it's like...
Yeah.
For a mil?
For $1 million.
Pass
and you have to do like a clip of it.
I pass on the question. It's like it's hard to answer a question about $1 million. You'd have to see the
But that's what
mill.
they did with Nas X.
No,
that's it. What I'm asking you right now is...
You can honestly say you will not do something for $1 million. But when the $1 million is in front of you, I guarantee you the answers fluctuate.
I can honestly say that I refuse a lot of money for a lot of things.
Of course, yes, of course. You don't know until you're in the situation. And when I say a lot of money, I mean a lot of money. Let me give you an example.
But that's the hustler in me. I know I can make that money in the long way instead of...
Let me give you a true story example.
Okay.
If you asked me, would you ever jump in front of a gun to save your friend? Mm-hmm. Like someone that's not your best friend, or just just a buddy that you know. Mm-hmm. Would you jump in front of the gun? I honestly would answer that question and say no. When I was in the situation, I did though. So I can easily answer a question hypothetically and make it seem like, yeah. But real life is different than hypotheticals.
Yeah.
$1 million changes your life. Obviously. To put on a suit, it's a matter of pride feels no pain. Or is your pride that high that you can refuse making your life, or if you have kids, set? Is your pride higher than setting your kid's life up? That's a better question.
Yeah. But what is it? Okay, so what is it that you would never do? For no amount of money.
No, there's things I wish I would never do that are obvious things I would never do, but I wouldn't want to say that because it would put me in a certain type of light, and
we'll move away from that one.
It would be so I don't want other people hating me for things that will expose what I don't like. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So but
it doesn't mean that you don't like it. It just means that this is not you.
It's not. Yes, it's not.
You respect a certain way, but it's not your way.
But here's what if you're whatever your people out there's way is, I don't mind taking your money still. So I will never frown upon.
But it's just the clown. It's just the clown
things
shit I don't
that
like.
They do.
I don't
like clowns. I don't like people, but they can still buy my record. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? You can still buy my record if I don't like you.
So
let's put that on record. If I don't like you, buy my record.
So the new release, right? What's in the new release? What makes that one important for you?
The new release is finally getting into this project that I have a group with J Vision and my wife, Miss Tulip. It's called M for the movement, M for the music. We are doing a rollout of the album. So these two albums we just released is more like a single album. I don't know if I guess we're inventing new things. There's a double album, 2 7-song albums, but it's more like a rollout for the album.
Okay.
So I have 7 songs on mine, and my wife has 7 songs on hers, called The Rise of M. Part 1 and The Rise of M Part 2.
Okay.
I show a different side of myself. Is why I like this album, because I'm an MC. I'm an MC's MC. I'll freestyle. I'll terrorize a crowd. I'll move a crowd. I'll liven up the place. I'll light up the room. I illuminate the function. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was getting put in a box. People just want me to be an MC, but I love music. If you could see how many records I have around here, you know what I'm saying? I got Bob Marley's first record he ever cut. Like, real talk. He's got a little afro. Even a fade on one of the records. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I like music. I have Jamaican culture background, and I love music, not just hip-hop. I grew up listening to rock music, Bon Jovi, Duran Duran. I wrote with a Sharpie on my Fisher-Price drums when I was 4, Duran Duran. The Reflex. I wasn't just listening to hip-hop. You want to know why? They would not allow it to get played when I was growing up. It wasn't getting played on the radio until a certain age. It wasn't getting played on MTV or Much Music or Chum Top 40 with Casey Kasem. No hip hop was
I think
being
you had
played.
to call around that time. You had to call to get the video. Remember these?
Yes.
What was it? The box or something?
Yes.
Like you had to actually
you had
call
to call
and
the
then you
rotary.
tape it, and you sell it to the whole neighborhood. That's what I used to do to hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I would call, and then they get it, and then my boy used to come back from New York with it, and then we make tapes and just.
Right.
Yeah,
so growing up, that we didn't have access to hip hop as much as these kids are lucky to have it now. So I had to listen to all genres of music, and I love all genres of music still to this day. So these albums are not just hip hop. Nothing I will release will just be hip hop ever. I will make hip hop for the rest of my life, but I will make music for the rest of my life also. And so this album shows a different side of me. I'm singing a lot on this album. You know, it's personal. The music is getting a lot more personal. It's telling life stories. It's telling about situations. It's a story dedicated to my mother that's passed away. It's just more, stop giving the people raw and give the people me.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What's the hardest thing for you into making an album? What's the hardest thing?
What's the hardest thing?
Yeah, finding the beats.
Finding an engineer that will be consistent, and finding a graphic designer that will be consistent. I believe that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, give me a story that you like. We're not gonna say name, but give me a story about your experience in the industry that you're like, that almost made you just hang out with the mic.
Oh, friends getting jealous is situations that makes you want to quit. You know what I mean? Especially if you use a rap with your friends. Eventually, like, if you start moving in a way where it looks like you're gaining on them, you're going to notice, like, I was in a battle, right? And I was winning the battle, and my friend that I used to rhyme with started making the crowd boo me, and then they all just started booing me. And I was winning the battle. I was like, yo, there's things like that.
So your friend was in the crowd.
And he started, like, I would never have known, but everyone's like, yo, your brethren that started the booing, you know? I go, who? He's like, yo, I was just doing it as a joke. I didn't think people would join along. Yo. Welcome to Toronto, man. This is the Screwface capital of the world.
How does it feel to hear boos?
How does it feel?
Like, without knowing that it's your friend, just hearing that.
You know, it's like you shrink. It's like you're shrinking. You know, have you ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. You shrink. But me being an MC, it got me more mad. And I felt like I was doing better. Because I was embarrassed, but I was like still in the battle. It's not like I could just think, hey, stop booing me, guys.
I know.
That's not why I was like, here's a reminder. Your mama smells worse than Spadina. And I kept get at him. I remember that specific line because that triggered that line out of my mind when I started hearing the booze. So I was starting to go in and it couldn't stop it. Nothing could stop it, but that MC doesn't even rap no more. So did he win the battle really? Well, I don't know.
He had his 5 seconds of fame, but he lost the war. That's it. So top, as a lyricist, top 5 lyricists alive. Let's go with alive. But let's not go with the usual stuff.
Oh, I know. People would normally say Biggie, but I don't say that. He doesn't have enough material for me to put him up there.
Okay, so give me your top 5 alive.
Of Jay-Z, of course, and Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Lil Wayne, I'm sure people, as an MC of a school I grew up with, Lil Wayne, he deserves a little bit of talking about. So let me explain. Let me explain that
a little bit, because at some point he was
the worst MC I've ever heard in my life when I first heard him.
Saying the same shit over and over again.
Absolute worst, in my opinion.
Okay.
How he gained my respect, put him in top 5 of all time. Mm-hmm. He was the hardest working, most ambitious, and he actually worked hard to get better. He didn't take it for granted that he was on top of the world as a 17-year-old rapping in the game. He really was in the game, and he's rich, and then he decided, I want to be the best.
Okay, so you got Jay, you got Wayne. Who's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th?
I'm going to go with Royce.
Okay, Royce. That's 3.
Top 5 lyricists, we're saying?
Yeah, top 5 lyricists. You got Jay, Wayne, Royce.
Black Thought.
Yeah, the Funk Flex freestyle was crazy.
And the 5th one, say J. Cole.
J. Cole?
Yeah.
So no Jada, no Fab?
No.
J. Cole is better than Jada?
Yes. I don't. Even though Jada's like my favorite MC, because Jada helped put me on. You know what I'm saying? But J. Cole, this guy is like, I've been to some concerts, man, and you know what's crazy? Mm-hmm. Like, Busta Rhymes would be my favorite MC of all time. But you said lyricist.
Yeah, lyricist.
Lyricist.
Only lyricist.
Lyricist.
Yeah.
See, Eminem doesn't get on there because I don't think he's a lyricist. He's a puzzle. He's the best wordsmith puzzle guy that there ever was. But I don't think he's a lyricist because he hasn't really said and had enough songs where he says lyrical content that I can relate to. He can put together words like a puzzle. He's a wordsmith. No, I wouldn't call him a lyricist. Yeah, J. Cole is a lyricist. Like, J. Cole, I could play a J. Cole record for every situation there is. Like, it's so weird. Like, he had one of my songs, like our first dance was a J. Cole song. His freestyle, it's like he seems like he's still hungry. Do you see how this guy's attacking the mic right now? He's like he's hungry. And he's still hungry. Like he hasn't made it.
All right. So, one last question. I want to know, if I don't know you, why should I download or stream your release?
First of all, because it's a double release. You get my release and you get my wife's release. The Rise of M. Because there's the music that's getting put out nowadays is not considered good music. It's words with sounds that are melodic and sonically put together to create some sort of melody. Is the best thing I could say to describe what I've been hearing lately. I watched I'm not going to say what award ceremony, but the latest award ceremony, and I wasn't really impressed with all the music that's being put out. So I believe that we are putting out music, not just in the hip-hop genre, in all genres of music. We're putting out music with meaning, with words. We make you dance. We make you smile. We make you think. We address mental health issues. This is what M for the movement and M for the music is all about. We are real life issues and not garbage. We want music changes lives, and the music that is being put out by other artists nowadays is only changing lives for the worst. So we're thinking that we can make a positive twist on things and still make it cool to be positive.
So one song that everybody should listen, just one. That
Off of my album?
Yeah.
Off of my
yeah.
the my
Give
side
me
of the
one
album?
song that everybody should listen to.
Home Time Coming. Because it's about my mother, and she means a lot to me, and I believe music is about sharing your innermost personal experiences and putting it on a musical composed piece of art. And if you can match the music with the lyrics, have a masterpiece. And I believe God created a masterpiece in my mother, and I believe we did her some justice by creating this masterpiece of a song about her.
All right. So you heard it. MEGASEAN, M for the movement, M for the music. Go get it.
Get it.